C'est l'histoire d'un groupe de jeunes et moins jeunes, un peu fous. 19 marins, 12 pays, un même rêve. Faire le tour du monde en solitaire à bord de tout petits voiliers de 5,80 m qu'ils ont construits eux-mêmes. 5,80 m bien plus petits que les 6,50 de la Mini Transat, juste pour vous donner une idée. Pendant 1 an et demi, ils affronteront les océans sans assistance avec des escales sauvages et des paysages mythiques comme le Cap de Bonne-Espérance, où j'espère les retrouver au mois de décembre. Ce sont les pionniers de la mini Globe Race, la seule course en solitaire autour du monde de cette taille, lancée par l'infatigable navigateur australien et aventurier Don McIntyre. Leur bateau, un voilier en contreplaqué, conçu pour être transporté en conteneur, mais capable de braver, me dit-on, les pires tempêtes. Leur motivation, vivre quelque chose d'extraordinaire, loin des projecteurs, au plus près d'eux-mêmes. Je les ai rapidement rencontrés à Lanzarote en janvier. C'est une sorte d'équipe d'individus libres habités par le même souffle d'aventure. Pour eux, ce n'est pas une course, c'est une quête, une épreuve, une aventure humaine. En tout cas, c'est comme ça que je les ai sentis lors des rencontres, des discussions que j'ai eues avec eux à Lanzarote. Mais trop débordés avec le vent des globes, je n'avais pas encore eu le temps de vous raconter leur histoire. Mais à partir d'aujourd'hui, je vous embarque pour une série de 3 épisodes d'abord. Épisode 1, qu'est-ce que la mini Globe Race? Épisode 2, qui sont-ils? Et je vous les présenterai tous les uns les autres, leur bateau, avec des images à bord de leur bateau. Et ensuite, épisode 3, des rencontres, des interviews des uns et des autres pour comprendre un peu mieux leur motivation. On va ainsi les suivre ensemble dans leur périple, mois après mois, dans les 2-3 prochains mois, jusqu'à la grande escale de Fidji où je les retrouverai en juillet. Toutes les vidéos seront évidemment à retrouver sur ma chaîne YouTube, en immersion avec ces marrants pas comme les autres. Et pour commencer, aujourd'hui donc, épisode 1, qu'est-ce que la Mini Globe Race? J'ai posé la question directement à son créateur, Don McIntyre. Il parle anglais, mais vous pouvez activer les sous-titres en français dans l'onglet YouTube. Allez, on y va.
So the fleet assembled in Lagos at the marina there, and we sailed through here to Rubicon Marina in Lanzarote. That's about 600 miles. And then on Saturday they will leave Lanzarote 3,000 miles across to the National Sailing Academy in Antigua. So that's the end of the Transat, and then at that point those that are bold enough to continue will have 15 yachts leaving Antigua, across through Panama, down to Tahiti, across to Tonga, and then there's a stopover way over here in Fiji. And then from Fiji it's up over the top of Australia, Cocos Keelings, Mauritius, Durban, and down into Cape Town, which is another stopover. And then from Cape Town via St Helena to Recife, another restart, and then Recife back to Antigua. It's about 15 months, so it's going to be quite a journey and lots of things are going to happen. Very much a human story.
So, hello, Don McIntyre.
Hello, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you here. You just had a press conference in Lanzarote.
Yeah, that was fun.
With the 12 entrants of your mini Transat. What a crazy idea, this 580.
That's life, you know, it's a beautiful thing. They're special boats.
How did you have this idea?
Well, it's something I wanted to do. I've always, been attracted to small boats, but I always had bigger boats, and when I was sailing across the Pacific in my bounty boat expedition in a big rowboat, effectively, I thought it'd be a good idea to do it one day. And so literally it was while the GGR was happening, I decided we had to set a timeline. And in 2019, we released the plans for a one design home built class that's really set up to sail oceans, and even around the world, because we announced the MGR, the Mini Globe Race, at the same time. And there is no other boat like it anywhere in the world. They're really serious ocean sailing yachts with all the gear and quite as safe as they can possibly be.
Yeah, this is the 3rd edition. You launch this boat it's every 2 years.
Yeah,
no, every year.
It's a bit of an overlap, but the first edition was in 21. I sailed my boat, Trekker, hull number 1 in that one, and won the seniors division, and so it was a 28-day trip, 3,000 miles across the Atlantic. And then we held it again at the end of last year, 12 months ago, and this is the 3rd edition now of the Transat, but they sail on into the Mini Globe Race once they get to Antigua.
How did you have the idea, why Trekker? Why Trekker inspired you so much in your life?
Well, you know, it was the whole small boat thing. John Guswell and Trekker in 1955 wrote a book. He was the first little boat to sail solo around the world. And I read that book when I was about 18, when I'd started sailing. And it was always in the back of my mind. And other small boat voyages inspired me. The first mini transats set up by Bob Salmon in England. That was fun to watch. And then the first single-handed transatlantic race, there was a 19-foot Hunter 19 sailing across called Willing Griffin. And I read the books and the magazine articles and thought, this is crazy. So now, you know, a long time later, I thought it's time to do it for me. So, and anything I do, I figure others might be interested as well. My objective was to race solo across the Atlantic, and we had 5 of us at that time that did that in 2021. We ran that race again last year. There was another 5, and then this year is a feeder for the mini globe race all the way around the world, and that was an objective when we launched the class as well. So it's just something that that people want, and it's proven. We've got 250 builders around the world in 37 countries, and it's a simple boat to build. Anyone can build it in their backyard and then follow that dream all the way around to you know, doing your own solo circumnavigation. So it's just, to me, it's a natural. Sounds like fun.
When I listened to them, I was speaking with Christian just before I met you. That bring me back to the beginning, to the pioneers of the mini transat, the 650. Somehow today the mini transat is also more. It's a great factory for making good sailors. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
But some of the boats are still too expensive for all ordinary people. And I think some of the guys who are here also because it's fun to build a boat, but because it's also cheaper to build a boat. My question is, you don't have as much money yourself as the huge events. How can you organize races? Because I know all your life you did adventures. Since you're very young, you did all these crazy things. And you always told us, the journalists or normal people, when you have a dream, that you want to offer to ordinary people the possibility to achieve a dream, to have this kind of defining moments in life. But this is a huge responsibility when you don't have a 100 people team like the Vendée Globe.
Yeah, we've got a 3-people team and a volunteer, sometimes yourself. Yeah, well, it's just something that hit me when I got to 50, okay? When I reached 50, I'd been doing lots of adventures, and I thought time to put back, and I made a conscious decision to invest time, money and effort into promoting adventure, because adventure makes good people, and believe me, the world needs good people right now. So that's what we've been doing for quite some time, you know, 25 years, and it's really working. The sad news is that we never seem to get the big sponsors because our events may not rate for them, and we have some retro sort of styles with the Golden Globe.
You are too old-fashioned style, Don.
Well, yeah, but that's the real.
That's why. That is your problem.
Well, that's the essence of it, and it's all about being, you know, the human story, and that's where it is. You know, I mean, you can have the most super high-tech boat, but at the end of the day, all they want to talk about is the people. Right, so our events, you know, the Golden Globe, the Ocean Globe, and now the Mini Globe, is centred and focused around the people from day one. You know, it's not about you know, computers and blah blah blah. It's all about the human driving the boat and doing everything, and it's just good fun. It's simple and it's raw. You know, so all of our entrants here for the Mini Globe race. They come from incredible backgrounds, you know, and they're all so excited. They all can't believe they're living their dream. They've still got to do it. But when we look back at the Ocean Globe race and the Golden Globe race, all of them realise they've been very lucky to live their dream. And so we're happy about that, you know, and we're doing the same to a degree.
I was thinking, when I was watching them this morning at the press conference, I was thinking, because, you know, people like me, we come today, we live in such a all security, safety, everything has to be so safety. When you go to the toilet, you have a panel to tell you the floor is wet. Pay attention to the floor. So the water, the sea and the ocean are very, very wet. So in this very, very safe world, sometimes I feel for you as an organizer to endorse the responsibility of offering these people their dreams. I'm thinking, oh, this is a hard job. This is difficult because these people don't have so much experience. And at the same time, it's something so beautiful that you are doing, because they want to go sailing. They would go by themselves. And doing this race, they are with another bunch of people. You monitor them, you give them weather information in the labs, you somehow you make their dream safer than if they were going by themselves, as you did when you were a young boy. And suddenly you're thinking, maybe that's why you did that, because at your time, sorry, when you're not 29 yet, people were just going at sea like they are doing at sea. It's just some things we forgot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we talk about our amazing, you know, sort of lifestyle for, you know, very civilized and sophisticated. Everything that's been achieved in the world by anybody involved risk. And without risk, you don't go anywhere. So risk is inherent in our genes, you know, and some people, you know, enjoy that element. And so, yes, the mini globe race has risk, but everything's been minimised as much as possible. But if there was no risk, then they wouldn't want to do it. And from an organiser's perspective, that's our challenge. Our challenge is to balance that whole issue of making it as safe as we can without removing it so that everything's identical and they're just, you know, following on doing a sausage machine process. They're all thinking individually, they're all taking their own chances, they're all aware of the situation that they're in, and they're all having a great time, because that's what you do, that's life, you know, every one of them's grabbing the spice of life and pushing themselves. And some of them won't realise it, but I only found this out during my voyage on Trekker, but they're doing it to prove something to themselves, right? And at some time in their life they'll realise that. They probably don't realise it right now, they just know it sounds good and they want to do it. So yes, it is challenging as an organiser, but we really like what's going on. It's very satisfying. Not good for the bank balance, but you know, what the heck, you know, money's not as important as life.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks.